most of us, making a ballpark pretzel at home means pulling a box out of the freezer. And those pre-made supermarket pretzels, well, they taste okay, especially after midnight, but they can't hold a candle to homemade. So today, Christie's gonna show us just how easy they are to make from scratch.
Well, they're easy to make from scratch, but that's because we took a very long path to figure out how to do it. We wanted that chewy, but still kind of soft interior. We needed a complex, but kind of sweet flavor. And we also wanted to make sure we got that deep mahogany, crispy exterior.
Yes, we ate a lot of pretzels developing this.
It wasn't all bad. But if we couldn't hit all of those boxes, then it really wasn't worth the trouble it takes to make them. So I have 1.5 cups of warm water. This is 110 degrees.
Okay.
I'll add that to my mixer. I also have 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil and 2 teaspoons of instant yeast. Now, this was the first place we really had a chance to develop some flavor. We're using 2 tablespoons of packed dark brown sugar. And we found the dark brown sugar really gave us that kind of malty flavor that Ballpark pretzels have in spades.
Molassesy.
Yes. So we'll mix that in there. And we're gonna let this foam up a little bit. It's gonna take about 3 minutes. You don't usually have to activate instant yeast. This is gonna cut about 20 minutes off our rising time. Now we can move on to our dry ingredients. A lot of recipes used all-purpose flour, but we ended up with pretzels that tasted a little bit more like dinner rolls. And that's not what we wanted. We wanted that nice chew, and we wanted more structure, and we got that by using bread flour. So I have 3 3/4 cups, and I'm gonna add 4 teaspoons of kosher salt to that, and we'll just give that a little whisk to get it all distributed. Okay, so it's been 3 minutes, look at that.
Nice and foamy.
That's some yeast that's hungry for this flour. So I'm gonna add this whole mixture to the stand mixer, and my dough hook attached. Now we're gonna let this go on the lowest speed for 5 minutes. And what we're looking for is to see the whole mixture come together and pull away from the sides of the bowl. My dough has been going for about 5 minutes. It looks really nice and mixed. So I'm gonna put a little flour down on my board, and we'll scoop this out. So I'm just gonna knead this for about a minute.
Well, that's looking good.
It's so nice.
That looks like an easy to work dough.
It really is.
Very pretty.
So I think we're good to go.
All right.
So I've sprayed this bowl with some vegetable oil spray because we don't want it to stick. And now I'm gonna cover it with some plastic wrap because if it starts to dry out, it'll inhibit the rise. And we're gonna let this rise at room temperature for about an hour.
Okay.
We wanna watch for it to double in size. It's been an hour.
Look at that dough.
It's definitely doubled in size. We're just gonna gently push this down to degas it. And now I'm gonna turn it out onto the board. And I'm just going to divide this so we can shape our pretzels. So I'm gonna cut it into quarters first. And I'll take each of these quarters and divide it into thirds.
That's 6 for me and 6 for you.
Now, don't throw away that piece of plastic wrap because we're gonna wanna keep all of the pieces that we're not working on covered and moist, or they won't stick to themselves when we go to shape them. Why don't you take one?
All right.
And I'll take one. We didn't wanna add any more flour to it, so we just sprayed these with a little bit of vegetable oil spray.
Smart.
And I'm going to roll it out into a rope, just starting at the center and letting it stretch out to the sides. We wanna roll these into 22-inch ropes. So now I'm gonna take this and shape it into a U with the open ends away from me. And I want the curve of my U to be about 2 inches across. Now I'm gonna take the ends and I'll crisscross them right at the middle.
Okay.
So crisscross, or Chris, and then do it again for the cross.
Chris and then a cross.
And then we'll take the ends and bring them down to the bottom and press them against the base. And they should be about 1 inch apart.
Are little tails okay?
Little tails are fine. Sometimes it takes a little reshaping once you do that.
Yep.
But then, you know, it does come around.
Oh yeah, it's a pretzel.
It is a pretzel. Transfer this to your flour-lined baking sheet.
All right.
Keep going until we've formed all 12 of them. Cover them with plastic wrap, and then we'll let them sit here at room temperature for about 20 minutes to proof and rise again.
Okay. In just 20 minutes, these guys really puffed up. All those little inconsistencies, all those wrinkles, they disappeared.
You don't see it at all. Now we have to go for the outside.
Yeah, that mahogany exterior.
I have 4 cups of water. I have a 1/4 cup of baking soda. So I'll mix this in. Woo!
Oh, and it bubbles right up.
It does. It's like a high school science experiment. And now we'll dip these in. They're not going to be submerged all the way because we're going to flip them. And we only want them in there for about 30 seconds total.
That's not long at all.
No, so pretty much by the time you've dropped your fourth one, you're gonna be just about ready to flip them. So I'm using my 2 spatulas, another 15 seconds on this side, and I think we're about ready to fish them out. Now notice I'm putting these on a wire rack. And that was really important because while the baking soda helps us get that really mahogany dark sheen, it also made sure that the pretzels completely stuck to the baking sheet.
Makes them sticky.
Like concrete. If we just let them drain for about 5 minutes, we had much better luck with them in the oven.
Ah.
So we've been letting these dry for about 5 minutes. Now, these are the same sheet pans I was using earlier. I wiped the flour out and added some oil. So I have half a teaspoon of pretzel salt.
Oh. Now, if you don't have pretzel salt on hand, you could substitute kosher salt, which we used in the dough.
Right. Same amount will work fine.
It's worth it to get some pretzel salt, though.
Oh, it's such a nice crunch. Now I'm going to transfer the pretzels. I have a teaspoon of pretzel salt left, and I'm just going to sprinkle these over the tops. And they're still pretty tacky, so the salt will stick. So now it's time to bake them. The oven's all ready to go, 425. Upper middle and lower middle racks. We're gonna bake these for about 15 to 20 minutes. We're looking for that deep mahogany color. And I'm gonna make sure to go in and switch and rotate. You know the drill.
I know the dance.
Halfway through baking.
All right.
Okay. So this is what 20 minutes gets you.
Those are impressive.
But like any baked good, we've got to wait and let these cool a little bit.
Yeah, and you want to get them off the hot pans because, of course, anything that's been in the oven will continue to cook. How long do we have to wait for?
Just 10 minutes.
Oh, that's not long.
You can handle it.
I can handle it. All right, so they're cooled.
They are cool.
I'm waiting for the green light from you.
I give you permission.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, you can pull it apart. You can tell it's got some good chew. It's giving me a little resistance.
It's great
That's
chew.
delicious. It has real flavor. I feel like the ones you get at the markets, they don't taste like anything. But these actually, you can taste a little bit of the brown sugar.
Even after you've dipped it in mustard. I just love the chew.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have much higher expectations when I go to a baseball game now.
totally. To make the ultimate ballpark pretzels, jumpstart the process by blooming the yeast in a warm water sugar mixture. For the dough, use bread flour and knead it in a stand mixer with a hook until it's smooth and cohesive, then let it rise. After dividing and shaping the pretzels, treat them to a hot baking soda bath to give them that iconic glossy brown surface before heading into the oven. And don't forget to sprinkle with pretzel salt. From Cook's Country, a home run recipe for ballpark pretzels.
Thanks for watching Cook's Country from America's Test Kitchen. So what'd you think?
Leave a comment and let us know which recipes you're excited to make, or just say hi.
Now you can find links to today's recipes and reviews in the video description.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
See you later.
Alligator.